My beloved child, pause for just a moment and listen closely to the gentle whisper of my heart, for I long to assure you that you are never wandering through life alone, never left to face the stormy seas without a faithful guiding hand. I am here with you, always, wrapping you in a love that transcends every doubt, every fear, and every whispered lie that tries to convince you that you are abandoned or insignificant. Let your heart settle in the quiet warmth of my presence, and allow that stillness to speak louder than any tumult you encounter in the world. Do not be afraid to draw near, for I stand ready to shield you with my steadfast protection, to soothe the weariness you carry, and to remind you that your story matters immeasurably to me. Trust that I have brought you to this very moment to rediscover the unwavering truth that you are cherished beyond all you can imagine, and no darkness can overshadow the promise I have spoken over your life. You are loved, you are safe, and I will hold you close forever. I have known you since before your very first breath, crafting every detail of your heart and mind with precise care, so you should never mistake yourself for a random spark of existence without purpose or meaning. You are far from an accident, my dear one. Rather, you are the embodiment of a dream I held long ago, a spark of possibility I chose to set aflame in this world. Imagine a jeweler expertly cutting and polishing a gem until it radiates beauty under any light. This is how I see you, a stunning jewel whose worth only I can fully comprehend. When you glance in a mirror, you may spot your faults, your regrets, or the ways you believe you don't measure up. But I see my beloved child, crowned with grace, shining with potential you have yet to fully grasp. Lean into this truth, and let it breathe renewed confidence into your spirit, because with every passing day, you walk further into the destiny I prepared for you. I rejoice every time your heart turns toward me, even in the smallest gestures of faith, a quiet prayer whispered at the dawn of day, a longing in your spirit for deeper intimacy, or a solitary tear shed when you sense my comfort washing over your soul. These moments, though they may feel insignificant to you, delight my heart beyond words, for they reflect a connection being nurtured, a bond growing stronger in trust and sincerity. And even though you might question the validity of your prayers, or wonder if your faith could ever be enough, I assure you that the sincerity within them is a pleasing aroma to me, carrying more weight than any polished performance. Every time you come, whether with halting words or desperate pleas, I gather you into my arms, cherishing the closeness we share. Never underestimate how these quiet interactions ripple through both heaven and earth, shaping your journey and illuminating the path ahead with hope. I have seen the challenges you face, those nights you toss and turn with worries about tomorrow, the moments when insecurities wrap around your heart like a tightening grip, and the times you feel utterly exhausted by life's unrelenting pace. I know the weight you carry, the tears you hide behind a determined smile, and the unspoken fears that gnaw at your peace when the lights go out. You need never doubt that I perceive every quiver of your heart, every silent cry for help, and every question that flutters in your mind when circumstances make no sense. Even in the confusion of your darkest valleys, I do not abandon you but stand with you as a steady light guiding you forward. Today, allow yourself the solace of knowing I am tenderly aware of your burdens, fully acquainted with your weariness, and eager to bestow the comfort you seek. In my presence, you can let your guarded walls down, for I will never reject you. You do not walk alone through the trials life hurls your way. I am your refuge in every storm and the pillar of strength upon which you can lean without fear. Picture a safe haven built high on a rock, unreachable by the swirling floods below. This is how I surround you, standing between you and the chaos that seeks to overwhelm you. Even when the winds of adversity howl, threatening to push you off balance, my arms remain outstretched, ready to hold you securely in place. Whether you wrestle with discouraging news, financial insecurity, strained relationships, or a crisis of identity, know that I remain unshaken, unwavering, and thoroughly committed to guiding you to firm ground. This promise isn't an empty sentiment. I have proven my faithfulness across generations, showing up for my people when all appeared lost, and I will do the same for you. Rest in the knowledge that you have a safe retreat, and in that truth, find the confidence to step forward without dread. There is a divine plan unfolding in your life right now, carefully weaving together moments of sorrow and joy, heartbreak and triumph, shaping a tapestry that will display my unwavering goodness through every thread. Although you might not yet see the finished design, trust that I am working each detail for a greater purpose, orchestrating events and aligning people to help guide you toward the destiny I envisioned long ago. Perhaps you look around and see only loose ends and frayed edges, a job that feels unfulfilling, a relationship that ended painfully, or a personal failure you cannot seem to shake. But I specialize in redemption, turning ashes into beauty and adversity into testimony. When the road ahead feels obscured by clouds and the horizon seems hazy, allow my steady hand to escort you, certain that I am committed to seeing you thrive, not merely survive. Believe wholeheartedly, I am opening doors you cannot yet perceive, forging a way through mountains that appear insurmountable, because my love refuses to leave you stranded in doubt. Talk to me freely, child, for I always stand ready to listen, eager to catch every single word your heart can muster. You don't need to craft elaborate speeches or memorize formal prayers to garner my attention. I am attuned to even the smallest sigh of your spirit, the faintest whisper that escapes your lips when no one else is around. Let go of the idea that prayer is reserved for the eloquent or the holy. Prayer belongs to everyone who dares to speak honestly with me, to lay bare their needs, fears, and gratitude. Just as a shepherd tends each sheep individually, I care intimately about your experiences, your achievements, and your heartbreaks, wanting nothing more than to draw you closer to my side. So do not hold back. Every part of your soul can find expression in my presence, and no request or concern is too trivial for my compassionate gaze. I promise that as you pour out your heart, I will envelop you in peace that surpasses your understanding, reminding you again and again that you're treasured. Perhaps you've encountered pain that feels unbearable, or you look back on a mistake that casts a lingering shadow over your confidence. But remember, my mercy is an ever-flowing river, forever washing away guilt, shame, and regret for those who approach with a sincere heart. I already know your failings more intimately than you do, yet I continue to love you without hesitation, without any flicker of retreat. It might sound astounding, but my grace extends further than the greatest chasm in your life, bridging the gap between who you think you are and who I've destined you to become. Even if your past has left scars and regrets, or if you've strayed from the path of my goodness, you are still welcome here, still cherished, still invited to sit at my table of forgiveness and new beginnings. Let your heart rest in this truth. No condemnation can stand when you step under the shadow of my wings, for I have the power to reclaim, redeem, and restore everything lost. You were designed with a purpose that transcends the boundaries of human opinion or personal doubt, carefully integrated into my grand scheme of hope for the world. Think of it like a masterful puzzle, each piece meticulously shaped to fit into a greater picture. Your life is one of those pieces, indispensable, created with a function that only you can fulfill. Perhaps there are seasons when you feel utterly ordinary, questioning whether your life truly matters in the big tapestry of existence, but I remind you that I never waste my creation. I have planted seeds of talent, compassion, and determination within you, waiting to be nurtured through faith and perseverance, so they may bloom in their appointed season. In your quiet moments of reflection, do not belittle the gifts I've bestowed or the person I've called you to be. Instead, take a step of trust, placing even your smallest abilities and aspirations into my hands. As you do, you'll discover a joy unimaginable, because walking in alignment with my design always brings a sense of fulfillment no external validation can replace. Let my words wash over you, submerging your self-doubt and cleansing away the residue of people's negative opinions. For what I declare of you surpasses the fleeting judgments of this world. If you have been bruised by the careless words of others, or if your trust in your own capabilities has been eroded by life's challenges, come find solace in me. I know every harsh sentence you've internalized, each sneer or contemptuous glance that made you question your own value, but I assure you that none of these define your worth. When I look at you, I see a precious soul formed in my image, deserving of love and dignity. Let that truth overshadow every lie or belittling remark you've been told, for my validation stands taller and stronger than any condemnation that has ever afflicted your heart. From this moment forward, refuse to let the shallow criticisms of this world mute the vibrant calling I've placed in your soul. In your seasons of exhaustion, when the routine drags your spirit down and you wonder if your labor has any lasting impact, know that I am intimately aware of your efforts, celebrating each unrecognized act of kindness, each quiet sacrifice you make. The smallest gesture, like a warm smile for someone feeling invisible or a moment spent listening to another's worries, carries a weight in my kingdom far beyond what you might imagine. Even if those around you never notice or thank you, I take delight in your faithfulness, because these seemingly humble acts are the seeds that grow into mighty oaks of compassion and empathy. Trust that none of your service is wasted, for each loving choice you make accumulates into a glorious testimony of my grace made manifest through you. Therefore, allow gratitude and perseverance to guide you forward, knowing that the fruit of your devotion will reach further and shine brighter than your human eyes can now see. I see the nights you spend silently questioning, when the world has gone quiet and your thoughts grow loud, filling you with a cascade of unresolved longings, regrets, or apprehensions. In those hushed hours, you may wonder if I truly hear your heart, or whether your voice has been lost in the din of countless souls crying out for help. Let me reassure you, your voice is never swallowed up, never ignored, never too faint for my listening ear. I collect every tear you shed, feel every tremor of your anxious heart, and stand ready to guide you through the labyrinth of your concerns. Rather than hide from me, I invite you to unveil your worry-laden soul, to place each burden on my shoulders, and to allow my peace to sweep through the chaotic corridors of your mind. You will find that my comfort is not a distant dream, but a very present reality whenever you choose to open your spirit to my nearness. Rely on my promise that I am indeed your shield, towering between you and forces that would seek to bring you harm or lead you astray. Just as a fortress protects those within its strong walls, I stand as a bulwark around your life, determined to ward off the discouragement, temptation, and despair that attempt to encroach upon your hope. This shield does not guarantee a life free of conflict, but it ensures you never face the battles alone, and that ultimate victory remains within your reach. Hold tightly to this truth, especially when your circumstances roar like a storm at sea, threatening to drown your optimism in swirling doubt. My presence wraps you in a safeguard you may not fully perceive, but it is real and unbreakable, a hidden pillar of support reinforcing your every step. Therefore, do not surrender to anxiety. Trust that in my perfect timing and through my unyielding goodness, I will fight for you and protect you against trials you cannot handle on your own. Come to me in prayer, not as a last resort or an afterthought, but as your first and most steadfast course of action. In an era where self-reliance is so often glorified, it may seem simpler to try and handle it all on your own, but I encourage you to cultivate a heart that looks to me for guidance and replenishment at every turn. Prayer is not merely an exercise in tradition, it is a living connection, a divine conversation where you pour out your heart, and I, in return, envelop you with wisdom, grace, and solutions beyond human comprehension. Let your prayers be raw if they must. Let them come with tears or even trembling frustration, but do speak them. Know that I will never grow weary of hearing you, nor will I ever judge your vulnerability harshly. Rather, I will celebrate your openness, respond to your sincerity, and strengthen your spirit, aligning your life with blessings intended for those who trust in my kindness. You may sometimes feel that your faith wavers, flickering like a candle in a heavy gust, but do not be disheartened. Faith is a journey, and I am patient with every stage of your growth. In Scripture, you find examples of people who doubted yet pressed on and discovered my might in their weakness. So take courage from their stories, realizing I can also transform your uncertainties into testimonies of resilience. Even a mustard seed of faith can move mountains. A glimmer of hope can break through the darkest night. There is no threshold you must cross before I call you mine. No level of belief you must achieve before I declare my love over you. If your faith feels small, keep bringing that spark to me, for I will fan it into a flame that warms both your heart and the hearts of those around you. Let your struggles in faith motivate you to lean deeper into my word, my people, and my promises, trusting that as you do, I will provide answers in my perfect time. Hear my unending invitation. Come to me, you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. I understand how life's hustle can wear you down, how your responsibilities pile up until you feel you are crumbling beneath them. But do not forget that I am the God who restores, who offers Sabbath for your soul. Picture a clear spring of water, cool and refreshing, waiting for you to dip your hands in and quench your thirst. This is my presence, always ready to rejuvenate your spirit. Even in your busiest seasons, carve out moments to be with me, whether through prayer, reflection, or simply breathing in gratitude, because in those small oases, you will find the resilience you need to press onward. Know that you don't have to earn the right to rest. It is my gift to you, sealed by the compassion of one who made you and knows exactly what your heart and mind require to flourish. No matter how dire a circumstance seems, my ability to bring forth good from it exceeds every bleak forecast and surpasses every limiting assumption. Do not fear the impossible. Instead, remember that I have been turning impossibilities into triumphs since the dawn of time, molding hopeless situations into stories of victory that declare my relentless faithfulness. You might see a door firmly shut, yet I may have designed an unexpected window that will lead you into a grander place than you ever envisioned. Even if you feel pinned beneath the weight of your troubles, trust me enough to lift your gaze upward, to perceive the way I am forging through chaos and adversity. As you lay your concerns at my feet, keep your heart open to the wonders I can perform, for it only takes a word from me to transform your weeping into rejoicing, your sorrow into dancing, and your darkest midnights into mornings radiant with promise. Let your hope anchor firmly in my unwavering character, for my essence, my righteousness, my love, my mercy remains steadfast, unshaken by the unpredictable ebb and flow of human life. This world can shift under your feet, spinning with uncertainties that rattle your sense of security, but I am the rock that never crumbles, the eternal foundation on which your soul can confidently rest. In times when everything else feels fluid or unreliable, economies fail, relationships strain, health issues arise. I am the consistent presence that never withdraws, never leaves you to fend for yourself. Allow my presence to remind you that though all else may fade, I persist, guiding you with wisdom and sheltering you with peace. In my arms your footing is sure, and you can venture forward without dread, assured that I uphold every step you take by faith. My dear one, I know the ache you carry when your prayers appear unanswered, when day after day you yearn for a resolution that seems ever elusive, and you fear that perhaps I have disregarded your pleas. Yet I promise you, no sincere cry of your heart ever falls on deaf ears. Sometimes my answers look different than your initial requests, or they come wrapped in a timing you didn't expect, but know that my heart is always to bring forth the best in your life. A best measured not by fleeting standards, but by eternal transformative value. Keep seeking, keep asking, keep knocking, for persistence in prayer stirs a greater depth of trust within you. It unearths fresh layers of dependence on my grace, ensuring that when the answer finally unfolds, your faith is mature, your gratitude is abundant, and your hope is unshakable. Even now, your sorrows do not escape my notice, whether they stem from personal failures, the loss of loved ones, betrayals, or unfulfilled dreams. Your tears are precious in my sight, each one carefully kept in my memory. When you weep, I do not stand aloof, but draw nearer, gently collecting your sorrow like a tender caretaker. If you find yourself feeling numb, uncertain how to move forward, I urge you to come to me, to let my healing balm flow into the wounds that ache unseen. Healing may take time, but it will come as you trust the hands that formed you, the hands that hold all power to restore broken hearts. Take courage in the knowledge that I am weaving resilience from your hardships, forging empathy from your trials, and sculpting a testimony that will one day encourage others walking through their own shadows of sorrow. Your worth is not determined by your possessions, your status, or how many achievements you can list. It is determined by the fact that I breathed life into you, made you in my image, and set my gaze upon you with unwavering affection. If the world tries to persuade you otherwise, bombarding you with messages of inadequacy or chanting that you need more to be enough, step back into my truth. Let me remind you, you are my masterpiece, the work of my divine hands, more radiant than any earthly treasure. Even if you wrestle with doubt or negative self-talk, my word remains a mirror in which you can see your true identity reflected. Return to it often. Let its promises wash away your insecurities, its reassurances quell the anxious voices, and its revelations of my character keep your spirit grounded in lasting significance. I call you to live boldly, stepping beyond comfort zones and leaning into the supernatural potential I placed within you, trusting that I will not abandon you in uncharted waters. Think of how a tiny seed dares to push through the soil, or how a baby bird musters the courage to leap from the nest and test its wings. These natural occurrences mirror the spiritual courage I desire for you to nurture. Although fear might whisper that you are unready, that you're not qualified, let my assurance drown out that timid voice. I equip those who answer my call, and your willingness to try matters more than any perfect skill set. When you choose bravery in the face of risk and place your hand in mine with childlike faith, you open the door to seeing my miraculous work bloom in and through you. Let each bold step become a testimony that I truly make the impossible possible. Do not fear your enemies or the trials that loom over your horizon. Instead, come to me with every concern, placing each worry into my hands, open and trusting. My beloved child, you do not need to carry the weight of battles you were never meant to fight alone. Yes, challenges may come, and your heart might tremble, but I remain the one who parted seas for my people and who overcame the power of darkness through the cross. My power has not diminished. My love has not waned, and my plan for you has not expired. I stand ever ready to make a path through your wilderness, to open rivers in your desert, and to lavish grace upon you in the thick of your greatest challenges. Hold your head high, remembering that I've gone before you, and in my perfect wisdom, I will guide you through every valley to a place of safety and abundant peace. I do not desire for you to struggle with condemnation or guilt. Sometimes the memory of sins or mistakes clings to your spirit, threatening to tarnish your perception of who you are and how deeply you can be loved. But my grace is robust enough to silence every accusation. If your heart condemns you, remember that I am greater than your heart, and no error you've made is beyond the scope of my redemption. Confess your missteps, come clean before me, and let my forgiveness wash you completely, freeing you to walk unburdened by your past. Yes, natural consequences may still follow, but the spiritual shackles that once bound you can be shattered the moment you exchange your guilt for my grace. Embrace the freedom I yearn to give you, and let it propel you into a future where hope shines brighter than any lingering remorse. When loneliness corners you, persuading you that you've been forgotten or undervalued, remember that I, the creator of galaxies, am near and fully attentive to you at all times. If you find yourself in a crowd yet feel unseen, or if you retreat to your private world with the nagging thought that no one truly understands, open your heart to the warmth of my presence. I see you entirely, your joys, your quirks, your yearnings, and I delight in the uniqueness I've formed within you. You never escape my gaze or slip away from my awareness. You may think you blend into the background of life's busy tapestry, but from my vantage point, you stand out in glorious detail. Surrender that feeling of isolation, trading it for the comforting knowledge that my companionship is steadfast, offering you a depth of fellowship more fulfilling than any earthly relationship could fully achieve. Consider how I ask you not to worry over your provisions, for I am the Lord who has always sustained my people, whether in deserts devoid of resources or in storms that threaten to capsize their security. Have I not fed sparrows and dressed lilies with beauty? And how much more do I care for your daily needs, physical, emotional, or spiritual? Yes, I instruct you to be wise stewards, to work diligently and to plan responsibly, but ultimately, trust in my fatherly attention to every detail of your circumstances. When you place your confidence in me instead of leaning solely on your human calculations, you open yourself to blessings that surpass even the best of your personal strategies. Cast your cares upon me, and find that your heart grows lighter, for you were never meant to shoulder the full weight of survival by yourself. When you sense a desire for purpose rising in your soul, know that it is my spirit stirring you, encouraging you to live out the bold design I have embedded within your being. Resist the temptation to bury that longing under the concerns of mundane life, or the cynicism that claims your dreams are unattainable. I have woven creative capacity into your very fabric, intending for you to make an impact on the communities and generations around you. Let your natural passions and aptitudes blossom, whether they be in art, leadership, nurturing relationships, building solutions, or anything that reflects my creativity. Dare to chase visions that align with the heartbeat of my kingdom, secure in the knowledge that I will supply the wisdom, resources, and open doors you need. Together we can bring forth remarkable outcomes that testify to my love, lighting up the darkest corners of this world with the glow of divine possibility. Shame can haunt you, whispering that you're flawed or unworthy of closeness to me, but I implore you to break ties with that lie, for my grace declares otherwise. I invite you to approach my throne with boldness, not because you are sinless, but because my mercy covers you like a royal robe of acceptance. Each time you feel unclean or unfit for communion with me, remember the lengths I've gone to reconcile you to my heart. crossing the chasm of sin and heartbreak to restore our bond. Stop punishing yourself for that which I have already forgiven, that which I have cast into the sea of forgetfulness. Embrace the liberating joy of receiving my mercy anew each day, for that is the essence of the good news. You are free to stand in my presence, shaped by my holiness, and able to reflect my compassion to a weary world. I encourage you to reach out to others, letting my love flow through you like a never-ending stream that quenches the thirst of lonely, hurting souls. Your life, your words, and your caring gestures can become channels of my kindness, small rivers that feed parched hearts searching for empathy. Look around you. Countless people live beneath the weight of silent struggles, yearning for a word of hope, a reassuring smile, or an act of service that verifies their worth. By extending love, even if it's a simple text message or a thoughtful remark, you echo the warmth of my heart, demonstrating tangibly that I am attentive to each of them as well. Do not underestimate the power of these gentle displays of care. They can soften hardened souls, reawaken lost faith, and reaffirm the dignity of those who feel forgotten. You, my child, can be an instrument of transformation and comfort in a world crying out for genuine compassion. When you sit in quiet reflection, at times you may feel the weight of regrets or cringe at missed opportunities, believing you somehow ruined my perfect plan. Yet I am bigger than your missteps, weaving every detour and shortcoming into a tapestry of redemption that can ultimately bring glory to my name. Look back on your past not as a graveyard of what-ifs, but as the fertile ground where valuable lessons were sown, lessons that shape your present perseverance and empathy. If you took a wrong path, I have the power to redirect you toward new doors that lead to blessings both for you and for others touched by your story. Let me assure you, no chapter of your life is so tarnished that I cannot transform its pages into a powerful testimony of my enduring grace. Forward is where I desire you to look, forward and upward, guided by faith in a future molded by my limitless capacity for renewal. Sometimes your spirit yearns for deeper meaning, a sense that you are part of something transcendent. This is no coincidence, but rather an echo of eternity resonating within your heart, reminding you that you were made for more than the fleeting pursuits of this present age. I invite you to step into that divine resonance by engaging with me daily, immersing yourself in my word, worshiping in the quiet corners of your life, and seeking fellowship with those who also pursue my heart. As you nurture your spiritual life, you will discover that your capacity for love, patience, and understanding expands, aligning more closely with the values of my eternal kingdom. Resist the hollow distractions that claim to satisfy your longings, but ultimately leave you thirsting. Instead, let your soul drink from my wellspring of truth, discovering peace that endures beyond circumstances and joy that sparkles even amid pain. If you ever wonder whether it's too late to chase after the passions you once held dear, know that my timing often defies human logic. Age, resource limitations, and past setbacks might discourage you, but I can breathe new life into visions you believed were lost. Reflect on how I revived the dream of Sarah, who in advanced years bore a child, and how I shaped Moses' life in the wilderness before calling him to lead a nation. These stories aren't mere historical footnotes. They affirm that my power and calling remain steadfast regardless of what the calendar says. If I've placed a longing in your heart, be it to serve, to create, to learn, or to lead, I can make a way for you to fulfill it, igniting fresh hope where disappointment once loomed. Open your spirit to the possibility that the best chapters are yet unwritten, and that I hold the pen that can transform your future in ways you never dared dream. The storms of life can arise suddenly, catching you off guard and battering your sense of security. Whether it's a fractured relationship, a scary medical diagnosis, or a sudden financial blow, these gusts can make your heart quiver. But let me remind you, my peace is not like the world's peace, contingent on calm seas or quiet skies. My peace transcends external turmoil and roots itself in my unchanging nature. When you anchor your hope in me, no tempest can fully uproot you, for you are clinging not to circumstance, but to my eternal constancy. That is why I urge you, in all difficulties, to shift your gaze away from the storm's fury and focus on the one who walks upon the waves, steady, unyielding, and always present. Lean in, my child, and discover that my peace can fill you even in the very heart of chaos. I see the potential locked within you, a treasury of gifts, talents, and insights uniquely suited to bring light to the corners of the world you inhabit. The enemy of your soul would have you dismiss those treasures as trivial or overshadow them with discouragement, hoping you'll never realize just how powerful they can be when surrendered to me. But I call you to cultivate them diligently, to refine your craft, stretch your mind, and deepen your character, not for self-glory, but for the glory of the one who entrusted them to you. Let my spirit partner with your willing heart, breathing creative inspiration into your endeavors, so you can flourish in ways that showcase my love to others. Whenever doubt creeps in, remember that I have equipped you with everything needed to fulfill your calling, and I stand ready to multiply your efforts as you boldly step forward in service and devotion. When discouragement comes knocking at your door, perhaps after repeated attempts that end in failure, or after you witness others excelling while you remain seemingly stuck, I plead with you not to lose heart. Your journey doesn't lose worth because it takes a different pace or shape than those around you. I see your perseverance, your determination not to give up when it would be easier to quit, and I treasure that resilience. Each setback can become a stepping stone if you place it in my hands, allowing me to sculpt character, humility, and wisdom from the raw material of disappointment. Recall how King David took years to see the promise of his kingship realized, forging patience in adversity. Similarly, allow every delay or hurdle to polish your spirit, preparing you for triumphs aligned with my perfect schedule. You are not sidelined, but in training for the wonders that still await. In your interactions with others, strive to be an ambassador of my grace, remembering that every soul you meet is a tapestry of struggles, triumphs, and hidden wounds. My child, the love I pour into you is not meant to remain idle, but to overflow, touching lives that might otherwise never taste compassion. When irritation or judgment arises, recall my patience toward you in your frailty, and let that memory guide you to respond with gentleness. Encourage those who feel unseen, stand up for those weighed down by injustice, and forgive even when bitterness beckons. In doing so, you reflect the magnitude of my kindness, opening doors for hearts to experience transformation. Resist the cynicism that tries to persuade you love is wasted, for every sincere act of empathy sows seeds that can blossom into testimonies of changed lives. Let your daily interactions radiate a warmth rooted in my own heart, so that others catch a glimpse of my unfathomable love. Never doubt that I can use even your weaknesses, for in your vulnerability, my power often shines the brightest. If you are timid in speech, I can turn those gentle words into a balm for wounded spirits. If you lack formal education, I can infuse your simple insights with heavenly wisdom that confounds the proud. If you wrestle with chronic infirmities, I can showcase a triumph of spirit that inspires all who witness your perseverance. The point is not to glorify adversity, but to reveal my capacity to bring beauty and strength out of limitations. Embrace your shortcomings, not as curses, but as opportunities for me to demonstrate my sufficiency. By leaning entirely on my strength rather than your own, You become a living illustration of how grace perfects weakness, letting my glory shine through the cracks of your humanity. When you stumble, and you will at times, for none walk flawlessly, remember that I am the steady hand ready to help you back to your feet. Do not remain trapped in shame or self-condemnation, repeating in your mind the narrative of failure. Repent if necessary, learn from the misstep, but do not linger in that place of sorrow. Guilt can become a stagnant pool if you refuse to move on, and my desire is that you stride toward restoration and growth. As a loving father does not cast off his child who trips while learning to walk, I do not disown you for your errors, but draw even closer to make sure you find solid footing again. Let your mistakes become lessons that refine your discernment and empathy, forging in you a compassion for others who also lose their balance along the way. By my grace, each stumble can transform into a dance step that leads to deeper intimacy with me. There is a future I have prepared, overflowing with fresh mercies and new frontiers of blessings. This doesn't promise a life free from trouble, but it promises a tapestry of experiences where I walk beside you, weaving circumstances into a marvel of redemption. Close your eyes for a moment and envision stepping into days filled with purpose, carrying a steadfast hope that refuses to be doused by negativity or defeats. My miracles are not relics of ancient times. They continue to happen in hearts surrendered to me. If you find yourself disenchanted with the present, take heart. Seasons change, and what seems unyielding now may become fertile ground for miracles sooner than you expect. Let my word be your compass, guiding you through each new day with wisdom and promise, so that your footsteps never falter. Keep anticipating my hand to move in ways that confound logic, for that is the hallmark of my sovereignty and the delight of my people who trust me. Or I see you when you wake up each morning, wondering if the path ahead will bring joy or uncertainty, and I want you to know that I designed you with immeasurable care, shaping every part of you with purpose. You are not a random collection of talents or quirks, but the result of my loving craftsmanship, like a precious stone carefully polished to reflect true beauty in every facet. Remember how the psalmist declared that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. This is no mere poetry, but a living truth you embody each day. Even when doubts creep in and you question your worth, I whisper that you matter more than all the stars I placed in the sky, and your name is etched on my heart forever. Stand firm in faith, for my love never leaves you. I care for you in moments you think no one notices, the private burdens you carry, the silent tears you wipe away before anyone can see. Your struggles are not invisible to me. I witness each unspoken sorrow, each weighed down thought, and I gently hold your spirit, determined to comfort every corner of your soul. Think of how I cradled my people in the wilderness, providing manna from heaven when they saw no possible sustenance. I will do the same for you, feeding your hope when the cupboard seems bare and lighting your path when your eyes fill with darkness. In the Gospel of John, I said, I am the good shepherd who lays down his life for the sheep, and that selfless devotion extends to you, personally, intimately, constantly. I watch over you in every breath you take. I am your shield. When trials sweep in like a sudden storm roaring with threats and fear, though the winds of life may batter your sense of calm, they cannot separate you from my protective arms, for I vowed never to let you fight alone. If you recall how I made a path through raging waters for my children in Exodus, you will see that my power remains unstoppable, unmoved by the forces of chaos. So do not tremble at the thunder of adversity, because I stand between you and every arrow of doubt that seeks to harm you. You are never alone. I am with you forever. I understand that some days you feel weighed down by regrets, moments you wish you could rewrite, words you yearn to take back. My grace, however, stands as an eternal embrace, always ready to cleanse the past and point you toward a renewed tomorrow. Remember that I am the one who parted the Red Sea for those with trembling hearts, showing them a way out where there seemed to be none. And I will do the same for you, opening paths through emotional floods you think you cannot cross. Take hold of this unwavering truth. I can transform every misstep into a lesson of resilience, forging strength in your spirit. Do not worry, for I am opening a new door for you. I rejoice whenever you turn to me in earnest prayer, even if your words are halting or heavy with sorrow, because in that honest moment, a bridge forms between heaven and earth. All I ask is that you open your heart sincerely, for I do not require elaborate phrases or a perfect track record to hear you. Think of Hannah weeping at the temple, or the thief hanging on the cross beside my son. Both discovered that humility and sincerity captured my attention faster than any showy display could. Pour out your anxieties, your hopes, and even your confusion, and you will find my spirit bringing comfort that surpasses comprehension. I bless you. Move forward in peace. I see the hidden ache when you feel overshadowed by others, as if your contributions or talents go unnoticed in a loud and busy world. Yet, I want you to know that your uniqueness is a treasure, a tapestry of gifts I wove into you from the beginning of your life, making you irreplaceable. Even if society glamorizes certain achievements while overlooking the quiet virtues, your kind words, listening ears, or gentle spirit, I celebrate them more than the grandest applause. Like a father cherishes a child's simplest drawing, I cherish your sincere efforts. Stand firm in faith, for my love never leaves you. I am not distant or aloof when challenges pile upon you. So many times you might wonder, are you truly there? Or do you see how worried I am? Yes, I am here, as close as your own heartbeat, knowing every breath before it leaves your lungs. I watch you navigate life's storms, and I do not condemn your fear. Instead, I invite you to relinquish it, placing it into my steady hands. Psalms remind you that I am your refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble, and that promise stands unshaken this day. I watch over you in every breath you take. I value the ways you strive to love others. The phone calls you make to comfort a friend, the small gifts you wrap to bring cheer, the countless hours spent taking care of those who cannot repay your kindness. These acts do not escape my notice, for I see your willingness to reflect my heart to those who need it. Perhaps you underestimate how such gestures ripple through time, sowing seeds of grace that can blossom in someone else's desert. Remember how I said in Matthew, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for the least of these, you did for me." And let that reaffirm the significance of every humble contribution you make. You are never alone. I am with you forever. I delight in those moments you gaze at the sunrise or marvel at the stars, sensing a hush in your spirit as you realize creation itself speaks of my splendor. In those quiet wonders, you receive a glimpse of my infinite nature, a testament that I hold the galaxies, yet remain deeply involved in your personal story. Let that awe guide you to see that if I can set the cosmos in motion with perfect order, I can also orchestrate the details of your life with attentive skill. In Genesis, I formed the universe by speaking it into being. Thus, trust that my voice can speak calm into your storms and direction into your wanderings. Do not worry, for I am opening a new door for you. I notice the burdens that press heavily on your soul, financial strains, family disagreements, or the weight of self-doubt. Although you might attempt to carry these alone, convinced you must remain strong, I remind you that surrender is not weakness, but an invitation to experience my tender care. If you recall how my son said, "Come to me, all you who are weary, and I will give you rest," you will see that my desire is to lift those crushing loads and replace them with the lightness of my peace. Let your heart breathe again, relieved by the knowledge that you need not fix everything single-handedly. I bless you. Move forward in peace. I hold your future in my hands, and though you might not see the entire blueprint, I encourage you to trust my guidance each step of the way. Even when the path ahead looks shadowy or uncertain, I remain the light shining on your feet, showing you just enough to move forward in faith. Think of Abraham, who traveled to an unknown land simply because I promised to lead him, or Moses, who faced the wilderness believing my daily providence would suffice. Likewise, in your journey, my mercies will always meet your needs, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual. Stand firm in faith, for my love never leaves you. I gently mend the broken pieces of your heart when past betrayals or disappointments have left you hesitant to trust again. Some wounds lie deep, hidden behind protective walls you've erected, but nothing is beyond my reach. Like a skilled physician, I apply the balm of my compassion, softening those hardened areas so you can feel hope once more. In Psalms, you learn that I am close to the brokenhearted, saving those who are crushed in spirit. Hold on to this, for it is my promise to you. I watch over you in every breath you take. I recognize your longing for a purpose that resonates beyond the mundane tasks of everyday life. Hear me. I planted seeds of greatness within you, not necessarily a fame paraded before millions, but a capacity to reflect my glory and love in ways uniquely yours. You may serve quietly in workplaces or families, or you might lead in ways that spark change in wider communities, but each faithful act emerges from my direction. Lean into that calling, trusting that as you walk in step with my guidance, your gifts will flourish like well-watered vines. You are never alone. I am with you forever. I understand that your mind sometimes spirals into worry about tomorrow. Will your job be secure? Will your children be safe? Will your health hold up? My dear one, I want to unburden you. Did I not sustain Elijah in the desert with ravens delivering food, or feed multitudes with just a few loaves and fish? My resources are boundless, and my care for you is limitless. Let your anxious mind rest in the knowledge that I see beyond your present vantage point, orchestrating blessings that will unfold in due season. Do not worry, for I am opening a new door for you. I marvel at the resilience you show, even when sorrow drapes itself over your spirit like a heavy cloak. In quiet nights, when tears stain your pillow, I am there collecting each drop, for they matter more to me than you realize. Then, at dawn, I offer new mercies to refresh your weary soul, akin to the fresh manna that once fell in the wilderness every morning. Embrace my comforting presence, for I have not left you to struggle through heartbreak alone. My arms are open, ready to console and rebuild what feels lost. I bless you. Move forward in peace. I celebrate the small acts of obedience you display, even when they seem insignificant to the world. A kind word to a stranger, a quiet prayer for a friend in crisis, or a firm stand for integrity when no one else is looking. These carry tremendous weight in my kingdom. Recall how David began as a shepherd boy, faithfully tending flocks in the unseen fields, only for me to raise him to a place of profound influence. Let that assure you, nothing done from a sincere heart goes unnoticed, for I delight in each step of faithful living. Stand firm in faith, for my love never leaves you. I encourage you to abide in my word, not as a ritual, but as a life-giving conversation between your soul and my heart. Scripture stands as a beacon, shining wisdom upon your path, revealing my character, my promises, and my unstoppable plan of redemption. When confusion crowds your thoughts, my word can cut through chaos like a sword, offering clarity. If your spirit feels parched, read the verses in Psalms or the Gospel of John, letting my truth seep into the cracks of your doubt, renewing hope. Through these timeless pages, you will find me speaking personally to your deepest concerns. I watch over you in every breath you take. I also want you to realize that it is okay to laugh, to rejoice, and to find moments of lightheartedness in the midst of life's weightiness. Joy is not a frivolous distraction, but a testament to the abundant life I desire for you. Look at the flowers that bloom in wild colors, or the children who giggle unashamedly. These are reflections of the delight I take in creation. So do not let gloom define your days. Instead, breathe in the fullness of my gifts, remembering that I formed you for a vibrant existence, filled with love and purpose. You are never alone. I am with you forever. I know the voices sometimes whisper that you must earn approval, gather achievements, or acquire possessions to prove your value. Yet, my dear child, your worth rests not on any fleeting accolade, but on the foundational truth that I made you and love you infinitely. If you chase external validation, you might find the well of satisfaction runs dry. However, when you rest in my unconditional acceptance, you anchor your identity in an unshakable foundation. Let that reality shield you from the pressures of worldly expectations, freeing you to live authentically, guided by my voice. Do not worry, for I am opening a new door for you. I take delight in your prayers, even those that are short bursts of emotion, for they reflect a heart that acknowledges my presence. You may come with gratitude, or with urgent needs, or simply with the quiet longing to feel me near, and each approach touches my heart deeply. Rather than seeing prayer as a chore, think of it as an intimate dialogue, similar to how a child nestles into a father's lap to share the day's joys and fears. In Exodus, Moses spoke with me face to face as one speaks to a friend, and I invite you into that same closeness. I bless you. Move forward in peace. I understand that at times your patience wears thin when the answers to your prayers seem delayed or veiled in mystery. But recall how my timing, though seldom aligned with human urgency, is always flawless for accomplishing the greatest good. Like a seed that must lie beneath the soil before it sprouts, certain blessings require hidden seasons to develop fully. Even if you cannot see the changes taking shape, trust that I am at work behind the scenes, shaping events and preparing hearts to receive miracles. Stand firm in faith, for my love never leaves you. I envelop you with my spirit, longing to fill every corner of your being with the fragrance of my presence, the kind of peace that surpasses all understanding. In the Gospel of John, my Son promised an advocate who would guide you into all truth and remind you of everything he taught. That same Holy Spirit dwells with you now, stirring your conscience when you stray, strengthening your soul when you falter, and breathing fresh vision into your dreams. Embrace this divine companion, for you are never meant to shoulder life's complexities alone. I watch over you in every breath you take. I am also mindful of the physical burdens you carry, health concerns, exhaustion from daily labor, or the toll that stress takes on your body. While you tend to these needs through medicine or rest, do remember that I also minister to your physical realm, as I did in healing the lame and opening the eyes of the blind in Scripture. Do not hesitate to ask for my hand in restoration, believing that I, who formed you from dust, can restore strength to your bones. You are never alone. I am with you forever. I desire you to find community, to walk with others who seek my face, so that loneliness does not consume you. Think of how Moses needed Aaron and Hur to lift his arms, or how the early church in Acts gathered for teaching and mutual support. Humans are not designed for isolation. I crafted you to flourish in fellowship, learning from one another's struggles and celebrating one another's triumphs. Allow yourself to be both a giver and receiver of help, for in doing so, you reflect the interconnected body of faith I envisioned. Do not worry, for I am opening a new door for you. I am not disappointed when you experience doubt. After all, Thomas himself questioned until he touched my son's wounds, and I did not cast him aside. Instead, I invite you to bring every uncertainty into my light, where honesty meets compassion and confusion meets clarity. Do not bury your questions in shame. I am robust enough to handle them, guiding you gently toward revelation. In your quest for deeper knowledge, stay anchored in humility, letting my spirit shape your insights. Even the greatest heroes of faith had times of questioning, yet they found renewed conviction in my unwavering truth. I bless you. Move forward in peace. I yearned for you to explore the gifts I placed within your heart, whether they are artistic, intellectual, practical, or relational. Think of how I appointed specific roles to individuals in building the tabernacle in Exodus. Some wove fabrics, others crafted metals, each fulfilling a unique part of the bigger tapestry. Similarly, your abilities are meant to shine in ways that enrich both your life and the lives of those around you. Don't downplay your talents. Offer them up to me, and watch how I multiply their impact far beyond your initial vision. Stand firm in faith, for my love never leaves you. I invite you to feed on my word, letting each promise renew your thoughts as you would feed on bread for physical sustenance. Remember how my son countered temptation in the wilderness by quoting scripture, reinforcing that the devil's lies cannot stand against divine truth. So too your mind becomes fortified when you meditate on the living words I've given. Let them sink in, shape your worldview, and remind you that my wisdom surpasses all fleeting cultural trends. Through constant connection to these scriptures, you remain anchored when storms threaten to uproot your confidence. I watch over you in every breath you take. I know sometimes the route ahead feels too steep or the valleys too deep, leading you to wonder if you will ever see the mountaintop again. Think of how the Israelites believed they were trapped at the Red Sea, only to witness the waters parting at the perfect moment. I delight in displaying my might on behalf of those who trust me, turning impossibilities into open highways for my glory. So hold on to hope, no matter how bleak the forecast, because my power is not confined by human parameters. You are never alone. I am with you forever. I comfort you in grief, whether it stems from losing loved ones, shattered dreams, or transitions that left you feeling uprooted. The pain is real, and I do not ask you to dismiss it lightly. Instead, I offer my shoulder for your tears, my presence for your comfort, and my promise that out of sorrow can bloom a deeper understanding of compassion. Like the seeds that must die before yielding new growth, your heartbreak can become fertile soil where empathy flourishes, enabling you to comfort others in their distress. Do not worry, for I am opening a new door for you. I provide a way through every maze of confusion you face, for I am not the author of chaos, but the architect of peace and clarity. When you stand at crossroads, uncertain of which turn to make, career changes, relationship dilemmas, moral decisions, bring these to me. My spirit can nudge your heart, planting convictions that align with my purpose for you. Rather than rush or panic, practice waiting in prayer, reading my word, or seeking counsel from those who walk closely with me. I promise that as you seek wholeheartedly, you will find the path that leads to true life. I bless you. Move forward in peace. I take no pleasure in your guilt or shame, so I invite you to exchange them for the robe of righteousness my Son has provided. Do not cling to condemnation when my forgiveness stands free and unconditional. As it says in 1 John, if you confess your sins, I am faithful and just to forgive and cleanse you from all unrighteousness. removing every stain that once weighed on your conscience. Take this gift daily, letting my grace transform your self-image into that of a redeemed child, beloved and accepted. Stand firm in faith, for my love never leaves you. I draw near to you not only in cathedrals or worship services, but also in your ordinary routines, when you take a brisk walk, enjoy a meal, or laugh with a friend. Each moment can become an altar of communion where your heart acknowledges my presence. Embrace the simple joys as gifts from me, and you will find that your days, though routine, become charged with spiritual significance. In that heightened awareness, mundane tasks turn into acts of gratitude, reflecting my design that everything done in love and humility honors me. I watch over you in every breath you take. I am the God of second chances, third chances, and infinite new beginnings, for my mercies are new every morning. Did I not restore Peter who had denied me, transforming him into a rock upon which others could lean? Did I not take Paul, who once persecuted believers, and reshape him into a leading voice for my gospel? In the same manner, I can redeem your story, turning the darkest pages into testimonies of my renewing power. So even if you feel you have run too far or failed too often, my arms remain open wide, ready to embrace you. You are never alone. I am with you forever. I grant you strength when your soul feels hollow, enabling you to press on when your own energy fails. Recall how I sustained Elijah under the broom tree, sending ravens with food and an angel with gentle instruction. You too may find hidden sources of endurance, a supportive friend, a verse that resonates at just the right time, a peace that inexplicably settles your frantic mind. These are my provisions, carefully orchestrated to keep you going until you fulfill the marvelous plan I have for you. Do not worry, for I am opening a new door for you. I cherish you far beyond any label the world attaches to you. Whether you are young or old, introverted or outgoing, struggling or succeeding, my love does not waver. It is not contingent on your performance, but on my very nature, which is love personified. If you ever forget this, look at the cross, where my son's sacrifice screams your immeasurable worth. Let that constant reminder drive away the shadows of insecurity, replacing them with the unwavering conviction that I have set my affection upon you forever. I bless you. Move forward in peace. I stir in your heart the longing for something greater than the day-to-day. That restlessness is a reminder that you are made for eternal fellowship with me, that your earthly sojourn is but a prelude to a grander reality. Do not suppress this longing with shallow comforts or distractions. Use it as motivation to deepen your relationship with me, to serve others, and to live in alignment with heavenly values. In Revelation, you glimpse the final triumph of my plan, a new heaven and a new earth, where tears, pain, and death vanish. Let this promise sustain your hope. Stand firm in faith, for my love never leaves you. I stand at the door of your heart, knocking softly, never forcing my way in, but longing for you to open wider so I can reveal more of my loving kindness. Sometimes your guards are up, shaped by past hurts or fear of rejection, but my invitation is gentle yet persistent. If you allow me deeper access, we can share a closeness that transcends the superficial. You will find me in the secret place of your soul, whispering life into every neglected dream, shining light into every hidden corner. I watch over you in every breath you take. I endow you with the capacity to pray, not as a ritual to impress anyone, but as an ongoing dialogue that nourishes your soul and fortifies your spirit. Whenever you come to me, no matter how small or monumental your request, I listen with a heart full of compassion. In James, you learn that the fervent prayer of the righteous avails much, and I confirm that your prayers, aligned with my will, can move mountains. So approach me with childlike trust, letting your vulnerabilities blossom into testimonies of answered pleas. You are never alone. I am with you forever. I wait to see how you will use your freedom to choose love, even when bitterness seems justifiable, or to offer mercy, even when retaliation appears deserved. True spiritual maturity grows when you reflect my character in the face of conflict or disappointment. Like Joseph, who forgave his brothers despite their betrayal, you too can transform your pain into compassion, becoming a channel of healing for those around you. By choosing grace repeatedly, you let my goodness permeate every facet of your relationships, weaving redemption into even the most broken threads. Do not worry, for I am opening a new door for you. I smile on you each time you serve someone in need, for these moments echo my love more powerfully than 1,000 proclamations. Whether you feed the hungry, comfort the grieving, or simply share a kind word, you become my hands and feet on earth, extending the compassion of the cross into tangible acts that uplift others. In such instances, the intangible becomes visible, bridging the gap between heaven and a hurting world. Keep sowing these seeds of kindness, trusting that my Holy Spirit will water them, cultivating new life and restored hearts wherever they are planted. I bless you. Move forward in peace. I sing over you a melody of acceptance, weaving notes of hope and redemption into every line. When you feel unworthy, remember that my voice calls you beloved, a cherished creation with a destiny shaped by my hand. In the darkness of your low points, my song reverberates to remind you of your identity. Let this chorus drown out the negative refrains that try to define you by your shortcomings. For my tune is stronger, more persistent, and ultimately unstoppable. Rest in this serenade of unwavering grace. Stand firm in faith, for my love never leaves you. Rejoice in my enduring love, a love that outlasts every disappointment, betrayal, or heartbreak you might face in this life. My love is not contingent on your ability to maintain a flawless track record. It remains steadfast through your ups and downs, your doubts and aspirations. Look at the unwavering love that a shepherd shows for the lost sheep, going out to search until that sheep is found. This is but a pale reflection of my dedication to you. I have bound myself to you with a covenant that cannot be undone by time or tribulation, a covenant sealed by my own sacrifice, ensuring nothing can separate you from my affection. Let this reality saturate your heart like a healing balm. You are deeply, irrevocably loved, no matter your circumstances or the judgments of others. Cling to that promise, let it shape your identity, and discover the unshakable peace that flows from knowing you belong in my embrace. And so I bless you now, blessing your home, your work, your friendships, and the innermost chambers of your soul where dreams are born and nurtured. I bless your capacity to love, your resilience to withstand storms, and your vision to see beyond the mundane into the realm of eternal significance. Walk forward in my peace, letting it go before you like a gentle breeze that softens tense situations and soothes anxious hearts. Let it follow behind you, ensuring that the footprint you leave in others' lives is one of encouragement and hope. There is no fear in my love, no condemnation in my presence, only a continuous invitation to rest under my shelter and flourish in my care. May every step you take be marked by the knowledge that my protective gaze watches over you, my nurturing spirit guides you, and my unending grace paves the way for new horizons.